Welcome back to my course aspects of biochemical engineering. That in the last lecture I tried to discuss some numerical problems, and numerical problems mostly deal with the irreversible reactions. And in these irreversible reactions that we consider that pasteurization process, we consider the relationship between the substrate conversion with respect to time, and also we try to find out the activation energy of a particular chemical reaction, that how we can find out also how to calculate the metabolic rate of the human system. Now, this particular presentation lecture we also will discuss some numerical problems, and these numerical problems will mostly deal with the reversible process. Also, one or two problem with the real problem that we have with the irreversible process, that also we will discuss. Now, first let us discuss with the reversible process. Now, we have taken a very simple situation that we have. If you look at here, you look, the first order reversible reaction is given like this, A to R, and K1 is the rate constant for the forward reaction, and K2 is the rate constant for the backward reaction. Now, Ca0 we consider as the initial substrate concentration, that is 0, and initial product concentration Cr0 equal to 0. It takes place in a batch process, and I want to tell you that you might be aware that what is called batch process. In the batch process, we take the material, suppose this is a reactor, and in the reactor we take the substrate, suppose A is the substrate, we take at a time and allow the reaction to take place, and after the reaction is over you take it out. In between you are not putting anything to the reactor. This is we consider as a batch process. So, in the batch process, that after 8 minutes this conversion of A is 33.3%, while the equilibrium conversion is 66.7%. Find out the rate equation for this particular equation. Now, what is the rate equation for this? With as for example, if you look at that rate of forward reaction, that we can find out in the next slide. This rate of we can write in terms of rate of substrate degradation or rate of product formation. Substrate degradation is, this is A2, A is converted to, this is B, am I right? This is K1 and this is K2. So, it is like this, minus when you talk about substrate, it is like this. This is Ca and this is time. The Ca always will decrease with respect to time. So, it is negative slope. So, that is in the negative slope, then negative. Now, if you B we consider, it is always, this is Cb. So, it is positive slope. So, it is positive. So, here is positive, here is negative. Now, this is the K1 into Ca. The K1 into Ca is the rate of forward reaction, and K2 into Cb is the backward reaction. Now, if you want to write in terms of that conversion, that suppose we assume that Xa is the conversion. What is the Xa? Xa I told you Ca 0 minus Ca by Ca 0. This is the fraction that is converted. Now, so this is Ca 0. Now, so the fraction that is converted. So I can write that this Ca, how you can write Ca equal to, here I can do this. This is Ca 0 into Xa. Okay, this is Ca 0. we are equal to Ca 0 minus Ca. So, Ca if you write Ca equal to what? Ca 0 minus Ca 0 into Xa. So, this is exactly what we have written here. Now, in case of B, the situation is little bit different. We have B, it is whatever A is converted to B, suppose Xa is converted. So, that is Ca 0 into Xa is that is the converted to B. So, this will be Cb 0 plus Ca 0 into Xa. Now, here this equation we can if we assume that we have in this problem we have seen that Cb 0 equal to 0. We have mentioned that Cb 0 equal to 0 at time 0. So, if this is equal to 0, if it is 0, then this equation can be written in this form. Now, once you write in this form, then this equation, this is Ca. What is Ca? Ca equal to Ca 0 into 1 minus Xa, am I right? And then we can write dCa is equal to what? dCa equal to Ca 0 is constant. So, I can write minus dxa, I can write like this. So, it is what we have written here, that is dCa equal to minus Ca 0 into dxa. This is equal to, and this is the equation that we have, and then we can take the Ca 0 common, whole figure I can take the 0 and this Ca 0 and this Ca 0 we can cancel, and if we cancel we will get dxa by t dt equal to k1 into 1 minus Xa minus k2 into Xa. Now, at equilibrium condition, I told you rate of forward reaction should be equal to rate of backward reaction. So, if it is like this, then what will happen? Minus dCA by dt or dB by dCB by dt, that should be equal to 0. Then this is equal to this, we can also write in this form dxa by dt, that also should be equal to 0. That equilibrium condition, k1 into k1 into 1 minus Xa, that should be equal to k2 into Xa. Now, we can see it here that this is equal to 0, am I right? If this is equal to 0, then we can write this k1 into 1 minus Xa, and this Xa we can mark it Xa E. E means equilibrium condition. So, I can write here this is equilibrium condition and this is the equilibrium condition. So, what we have written here. This is like this. This is k1 into 1 minus Xa equal to k2 into Xa. So, k2 by k1 equal to this equal to 0.5. Then we can write k2 equal to what? 0.5 into k1. Now, this value we can put the previous equation that I shown you. This k2 value we can put it here. Then we can write this equation like this. Then finally, we can write this, and it will come like this. Then, if you like in the log form, it is 1 minus this 1.33, because the conversion 8-minute conversion is 33.3%. So, we can write 0.333, and this is minus 1.5, and k1 value we can easily calculate. We can find out this is equal to 0.057 minutes inverse. then if you know the K1 value, then we can find out the K2 value also. K2 value we can calculate this, we know the correlation, we can form that, we can find out this is 0.5 into this. So, what was our final rate expression that we have in the reversible process? Minus dCA by dt equal to minus dCB by dt equal to 0.057 minutes inverse into Ca and 0.0285 minutes inverse into Cb. So, this is the final equation that we have. So, in a reversible reaction, we can find out the rate expression very easily. Now, let me go to the second problem. Second problem also very important, and this is a little bit, this is also with respect to the batch process, and we have taken different data, that numerical data and real process we want to analyze, and try to let us see how we can analyze this process. What is the problem is that reactant A decomposes in a batch reactor A to B. The composition of A in the reactor is measured at the various time with the results shown in the table. Find out the rate equation to represent the. So, we shall have to, what is the rate equation that we have here? Minus dCA by dt. Am I right? This is equal to K into Ca to the power n. So, what we shall have to do? We shall have to find out the value of K and n. What is the K? K is the rate constant, n is the order of reaction. Both the value from these experimental results, we shall have to find out both the value of K and n. Now, question how we can find out? I showed you before also that how we can, I can do it again. This is like this, that is minus dCA by dt. This is equal to K1 into Ca to the power n. Am I right? If we or we can take the 1, because this is single reaction, we can simple write the K. Simple write the K, that is good enough. Now, this I can write that so we have in this problem, we have at different time, we have the t value, we have at different t values, we have given that. Now, what we can do here, we can take log, this is the natural log, minus dCA by dt equal to ln K plus n ln Ca. Am I right? Now, if we write this, then if we plot minus ln dCA by dt versus ln Ca, we will get a straight line, and this slope will give you the value of n, and the intercept will give you the value of ln K. So, here you have different values, this is given. So, you can easily find out what is the minus dCA by dt, and I told you that we use the differential technique. What is the differential technique? Differential technique is that minus dCA by dt equal to Ca n plus 1 minus Ca n minus 1 divided by do del t, and n is the sampling point. This is n is the sampling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, we can through differential technique we can find out, and I try to mention why we use the differential technique, because actually if we look at the Ca profile with respect to time, if you plot it, you will get this kind of plot. Now, now at different time, if we want to make a slope, we shall have to do, we shall make a tangent here at the point of interaction. This point we shall have to make a tangent, and this tangent we can make a slope, and this slope we shall have to calculate. Now, question comes, when we make a tangent, there should be some kind of human error. My tangent and U tangent will be little bit differ from each other. So, that is called human error. To avoid this kind of situation, we go for differential technique. This is called differential technique. This is called differential technique that we use just to find out this, that d minus dA by dt. Now, so once you have this, then you can have minus dCA ln dCA by dt, or if you want to use directly, you use the log graph paper. We have different log graph paper is available. You can put directly the data here, and you can have your slope here there. You don't have to find log here. Directly you can, and CA also you can log. If your scale is log, directly you can put the data, and you can find this. You can find the slope value of n. Now, this is how you can calculate. So, this is your time and CA that is given, and through differential technique we can find out the value of dCA by dt. This is all, and then we can find out this is dCA by dt minus you can have positive, and this is like this, and then we can take the log value we can easily find out, and ln CA. In that case, if we have this log value, then you don't have to use the log graph paper. Normal graph paper will work. If you have normal graph paper, you just put the value, what you call centimeter graph paper, that will give you the slope. Now, this is exactly what we have done. This is the normal graph paper. You can see this is 0.8 this is normal graph paper, and if we plot, we can have a straight line plot, and from the slope we will get the n value is 0.41, and for the intercept we get the value of ln k, that is 0.6, where k equal to 0.55. So, our equation you can remember dCA by dt equal to minus, this is minus was here, we bring it here, and minus 0.55 CA to the power 0.41. So, from the experimental results we can easily find out the rate equations, and you know that I was talking about that once you find out this kind of equation, you can do the validation of the equation. Let me show you how you can do the validation of the equation. That is, suppose in this equation, what you have done, you have find out dCA by dt equal to 0.55 CA to the power some value you have taken, make it 0.44. Let us assume that. So, what I want to know, that I want to tell you. So, from this, if you solve this equation, you can find a correlation between CA and T, because you can bring it here dCA by CA to the power maybe 0.44 equal to dt. Am I right? 0.55 dt. So, you can solve it. You can find the correlation between. So, you can have correlation between CA and T. So, what you can do, you can put the different value of T in this equation. You can find out the CA value. So, you have CA and T. So, theoretically you can draw this line like this theoretically, because n number of points you can take n number of T points. So, you can have the very nice plot here. Now, then you put your experimental data, what in the table we have find that you put the data will be might be looking like this, and then you can find out the deviation, percentage deviation of the experimental results from the theory results, and find out what is the percentage of deviation. If we find the percentage of deviation is more than 5%, then this is not acceptable. You have to modify the equation. But if it is less than 5%, then it is acceptable. So, this is how we can, what you call the validity of the equation, validity of the equation odd, we call it the simulation. So, basically we have what you call when you write any equation, mathematical equation, we call it modeling, am I right? We call it modeling and simulation. The modeling deals with the mathematical representation of the process, and simulation deals with the validity of the mathematical equation, how much the validity we have as per your mathematical equation is concerned. Now, let me go to the second next problem. The next problem, this deals with the pyrolysis process, that pyrolysis of ethane proceeds with a activation energy of about 300 kilojoules per mole. So, here I want to point out that in the last lecture we calculated the activation energy of a particular process, in a particular process what we call pasteurization process. Now, here the problem is little bit different. Here the activation energy is given, and what we shall have to find out that how much faster is the decomposition if we increase the temperature to 650 degrees centigrade from that 500 degrees centigrade. So, this problem deals with that if we increase the temperature from 500 degrees centigrade to 650 degrees centigrade, what is the how the rate of decomposition is increases. I hope that you know that what is called pasteurization process. Pasteurization process is kind of a process where we burn the material in limited amount of oxygen. Not we incineration process means we give the sufficiently oxygen to the for the burning of the material. But in the pyrolysis process, we give the restricted amount of oxygen air to the process. So, our product here mostly we have carbonaceous material, we carbon and some kind of liquids formation, that bio oil formation take place. Now, here this problem deals with that how we can find out that what is the, if we increase the temperature, how many fold of that rate of reaction increases. So, if you look at this again, I shall have to go to the Arrhenius equation. Arrhenius equation is that K1, or that let me take it out, K equal to A e to the power Ea by RT. This is the equation that we have. Now, in the rate equation, we know that what is the rate, RA equal to rate equal to minus RA equal to K into Ca. So, this the K is proportional to RA. So, I can write this, we can replace this with the RA value. So, so at different temperatures, so we have already shown you that how this the equation has been derived. So, let us see how this equation has been derived. Suppose we have K1 into what you call at T1 K1 equal to A e to the power Ea by RT1. Am I right? At T2 we have K2 equal to A e to the power minus Ea by T2. Am I right? So, we can write the K2 by K1 is equal to A e to the power minus Ea by RT2 divided by A into e to the power Ea by RT1. So, this will cancel. So, I can write here, I can write this is equal to minus R2, and this is equal to, or here you can write R1 minus R1. this is equal to like this. So, if you take it the top, then what we will get? E equal to then E A, this is R 1, am I right? So, I can write E A by R, I can take common 1 by T 1 minus 1 by T 2, this we can write. So, if we take log, this will be what? Minus R 2 by minus R A, R 1, this is equal to E A by R 1 by T 1 minus 1 by T 2. T 2 is there. So, in this problem, what we have? We shall have to find out, or that here I can put this value, because we shall have what fold of the rate of reaction increases. So, simple we put this A value, R value, T value in the both the equation, and we find out how many, what is the result. Suppose we get x, so x fold increase. So, I can write minus R 2 is equal to x into minus R 1. So, x fold increase of reaction that will take place. So, this is this equation I showed you how it has come, and then this is this ln by this, the equation is that if you put the values, and you will get this equation, final equation you will get like this, and this is coming like this. So, it indicates that that, as I mentioned, that means rate of that reaction as 650 degree centigrade, this is 650 degree centigrade, and this is 500 degree centigrade. So, if you look at the difference, that and as compared to say the 500 degree centigrade, 650 degree centigrade, the rate of reaction will be 1958.6 fold. So, this is a very interesting thing, that that we can find out that by increasing temperature, what is the percentage enhancement of the rate of reaction that take place. In this particular lecture, we try to discuss some kind of reversible reaction, and the reversible reaction initially we find out under equilibrium conditions, rate of forward reaction equal to rate of backward reaction, and in that particular condition we can find out the ratio of we know the concentration, because 66.7% of substrate converted. So, we can easily find out that Kc value is nothing but concentration of product divided by concentration of substrate, and which is equal to K2 by K1. So, we can find out the relationship between K2 and K1, and then we can put the value in our reversible reaction. Then we can solve this equation and find out the value of K1. And once you know the K1, we can calculate the value of K2, then we can write the rate expression. And I showed you how we can do the simulation of this particular equation, because modeling in whenever we write any kind of mathematical model, we shall have to validate the mathematical model. We shall have to compare with the experimental results, and just to find out what is the percentage deviation there. If the deviation is less than 5%, is acceptable. Is more than 5%, we shall have to modify this equation. Then we discuss with another problem of this pyrolysis, that is first another problem of this irreversible reaction, where we try to find out experimentally how we can determine the value of rate constants and the order of reaction that we estimated. And then finally, we discuss with discuss one pyrolysis process, and in the pyrolysis process that usually I told you, pyrolysis process usually take place in the restricted amount of oxygen, and this equation, this particular problem deals with, as you enhance the temperature from 500 to 650 degree centigrade, what is how much fold of reaction that will take place. So, this is the problem we discussed in this lecture. I hope this will be useful to you to understand the process in a better way. Thank you very much.